At that moment, Cyan grabs the goblin's arm. He sees magical energy flowing out of the creature and focuses his own magic into his hand, pressing it against the goblin's arm. The goblin's arm begins to burn, and in pain it throws Cyan away. The goblin writhes in agony. Cyan stands up again and launches the same attack at its head. This time, the goblin collapses and dies. Everyone stares at Cyan in fear. "You're looking at me like I'm a monster," he says. Just then, Rose runs up to him and tells him that they're alive because of him. A few women arrive and gently lay his mother down on a bed. No one there knows anything about medicine or treatment. When Cyan asks, he finds out that a girl named Leah knows how to sew. Cyan asks some people to bring sewing supplies from the house, tells others to fetch water, and orders the remaining men to take the goblin's corpse into the hallway. Soon everything is ready. Leah is terrified as she stitches the wound, but Cyan tells her that if she doesn't do it, his mother will die. Hearing that, she gathers her courage and continues. After some time, the wound is stitched. Now all his mother needs is rest. Overwhelmed with relief, Mary hugs Cyan tightly. Soon after, their father returns. They had found the goblin's nest in the forest and killed 2 of them. They suspected there were more, so they retreated quickly. Some people were injured, but no one lost their life. Later, a doctor examines Cyan's mother and confirms that her organs are unharmed. He asks if a medical expert was present, because the stitching was done extremely well. Cyan's father then asks Cyan where he learned such medical knowledge. Cyan can't tell him the truth, so he simply says he doesn't know how he knows these things. Then his father questions him about the goblins. Mary excitedly blurts out that Cyan is researching magic. "That's insane," his father snaps. "No outsider should ever find out about this. If they do, it'll lead to serious trouble. You have to stop your magic research." "I understand what you're saying," Cyan replies. "You think this power is dangerous. But for me, it's my dream. Without it, I'm nothing." After hearing this, his father finally agrees, but with conditions. Cyan must report everything he discovers, and if he ever does something dangerous, his father will stop him. The next day, Cyan wants to continue his research. His father lights a fire using firewood. Cyan wraps magic around his hand and brings it close to the flames. His hand immediately catches fire and he screams. Gawain quickly pours water over it to extinguish the flames. Despite the pain, Cyan has learned something new, and he starts laughing like a madman. He tries again, and once more, his father puts out the fire. He repeats this several times until he's exhausted. Seeing this, his father goes to get him something to drink. Cyan then explains what he has learned. First, the more magic he gathers, the more intense the fire becomes. Second, fire can ignite not only from flames, but from any strong source of heat. Third, when he coats his entire body with magic and approaches fire, only his hand ignites. This time, the flame looks normal in color. Still, all of this feels dangerous and not very useful. If only he could create orbs like before. That's when Mary shows him that she can do it. Cyan is shocked. Then Rose shows him that she can do it too. "I thought you could already do it, so I never mentioned it," Mary says. With their help, Cyan finally manages to do it as well. Meanwhile, Gawain looks completely confused because he still can't see any magic at all. They all go outside, and with the help of a lighter, Cyan successfully creates a fireball. He starts laughing strangely again. He names this magic Flare, but admits that it's completely useless for attacking. A month passes. Each time Cyan uses Flare, the next one becomes even weaker. Around the same time, Mary injures her hand during training, and their father tells her to rest. Cyan pauses his fire magic research and asks his father about lightning, mentioning something he heard before. "Should we go to Mysteria?" he asks. He invites Mary too, but she says she has something to do and can't come. So Cyan goes with his father to the same blacksmith shop as before. "So you're talking about lightning ore," the blacksmith says. "It's extremely hard to obtain. If you have permission, you can get it from a mining site, but transporting it is very difficult." Cyan gives him the details of what he needs. Hearing this, Grast hands him a paper crystal. But Cyan needs a much larger crystal. Grast tells him he can find one in the trade district, but for the amount Cyan wants, it will cost 4,000 realm. Cyan is disappointed, but Gawain is willing to pay the price. They bring back the lightning ore, and this time Cyan's mother is also there to watch his experiments. Cyan throws a magic orb toward the lightning ore, and electricity bursts out of it. "It failed again," he mutters. "Oh well, that's normal." But then he realizes something. This experiment was actually a success. He learns that magical energy has properties beyond fire, and it seems to mimic whatever it comes into contact with. That means he might be able to perform any kind of magic he wants. Later, while sitting on his bed, Saiyan wonders how to shoot electrical energy using magic, since direct contact with electricity causes it to repel. Then it hits him that magic doesn't need to stay in the form of a ball. He starts creating different shapes. He goes to Mary's room, but she's not there. Looking for her, he heads to the river, where she's still practicing. Saiyan apologizes, saying that while Mary was helping him learn magic, he never supported her training. Mary says it doesn't bother her. What really frustrates her is that when she was supposed to protect Saiyan, he ended up protecting her instead. That's why she trains day and night. Saiyan hugs her and apologizes for never paying attention to her feelings. He then explains his progress. He can now create magic in different shapes and change their size, but spreading it out reduces its concentration. Once it spreads too much, it can't even ignite fire, so he decides to make his magic sharper and more concentrated. This time, when he uses the lighter, he creates a sword made of fire. Impressed, he tries the same thing with the lightning ore. But his magical energy is too weak, so the stone barely reacts. Next, he extends his magic and touches the ore, causing electricity to surge dangerously close to him. Later, his father arrives with Grast. "This idiot bought a huge amount of lightning ore after hearing your idea," his father says. "Most people bought some at first, but since it's so dangerous to handle, it's all sitting unused in a storage room now. Okay out." Grast asks Saiyan if he can find a way to sell it, since he can't afford to keep renting the storage room for long. "I'll try," Saiyan says, "but don't expect too much." He then asks why all the ores are stored so far apart. Grast explains that when two ores get close, they react with each other. He shows Saiyan a stone made by melting lightning ore, but when he brings two of those stones close together, nothing happens. Grast explains that the lightning probably disappeared during the melting process. Saiyan asks his father for permission to try something. After getting approval, he lights a strip of material on fire using his lighter. Seeing this, Grast is left completely stunned. Saiyan tells him that what he just saw was magic. Then he wonders if melting it with fire magic would produce a different result. Hearing this, Grast immediately gets back to work. This time, when the two metals are brought close to each other, an intense light bursts out. Seeing this, Saiyan names the new material Iron Lightning. After that, everyone works together to produce large amounts of iron lightning. Grast works non-stop for 3 days and nights without sleeping even once. Using this material, they manage to create 2 different items. Saiyan tells him that it was magic. Then he suggests testing whether melting it with magical fire would change the result. Grast immediately gets back to work. This time, when the two metals are brought close together, an intense light erupts. Saiyan names the new material Iron Lightning. After that, everyone works together to produce a large quantity of iron lightning. Grast works non-stop for 3 days and nights without sleeping even once. Using it, they create 2 items. The first is a lantern, and the second is a striker that's much easier to use than a regular lighter. Seeing all this, Saiyan's parents praise him. Grast then says, "You really are special, aren't you?" "Well, of course you are. Don't forget what I said." Hearing that, Saiyan starts wondering what Grast really meant. They all head back home, and soon we learn that lightning lamps and strikers begin selling incredibly well. Saiyan then prepares for his next experiment. Normal fire needs oxygen to burn, and that same principle applies to lightning lamps. He wants to see whether magical fire follows the same rule or not. He lights a candle using magic, then covers it with a cup. When they remove the cup, the candle is still burning. This proves that magical flames don't need oxygen. They can enhance natural phenomena. That's when an idea strikes him. He shoots fire magic into the sky using a lighter and asks Mary to fire her magical energy into the fireball. The moment she does, the fireball suddenly expands violently, knocking Mary to the ground. Rose asks if he expected that to happen. Saiyan admits he didn't. He thought the fire would only grow a little. To him, it felt like setting off a massive firework. His curiosity spirals out of control, and he brings out lightning ore for another experiment. He touches it with his magic, but this time there's no explosion. Saiyan explains that it's not just magical energy reacting, it's the air reacting with magical energy. When he activated lightning magic before, he felt wind resistance. And since flare doesn't need oxygen to burn, magical energy alone is enough. That means magical energy behaves like air, and when it comes into contact with a physical object, it